Hey guys, it's Rachel. It's Thankful Thursday, even though today is Friday. I'm really sorry I didn't get my video up yesterday. I had a really kind of like manic day dealing with some like personal stuff, and I also yes, hello pussycat. I also have had Tracy here, so I was just like really busy and never really got a chance to upload video. So I was going to leave it, but then I thought, you know, I did the rota, so I might as well, like, yeah, have a go at this. I specifically made this rota not to kind of isolate people with eating disorders in terms of putting them in an anorexic block, bulimic block, compulsive overeating, but what we're going to cover over the next couple of weeks are those. We're going to do a week all about anorexia, a week all about bulimia, and a week all about compulsive overeating. And what I wanted to do today and this week was just look at the effects of undereating. I think there's a huge misconception concerning the effects of undereating and how it only happens to people who are incredibly underweight, anorexics or whatever. And what I do tend to find, and experience has taught me, is that there are a great deal of people who undereat. They're not necessarily eating disorders, but people who diet also, and more kind of I wanted this week to be about, you know, not just undereating, but, you know, if you're not feeding your body at regular intervals, you may eat a sufficient amount, but if you're not eating all day, skipping breakfast, skipping lunch, and then eating when you get home, you know, not only is that like really bad for you, but it is going to impact you. It's going to impact your mood, it's going to impact how your body functions, it's going to impact, you know, whether you're tired or overtired, it's going to impact, you know, your thinking, your concentration, and it's just, it's really not good practice, to be honest. And maybe I'm a little bit like, I've been very lucky. I you know, my mum always handmade stuff, well, hand cooked, self-cooked food for us. Everything was kind of organic and fresh, and you know, she was very careful of what she did feed us. You know, it was kind of, you know, we had breakfast, lunch and dinner and supper, and, you know, we didn't have dessert until we'd finished the vegetables on our plate, and for the most part my understanding of healthy eating is pretty good, and I think that there are people out there who do, but I also think there's a great deal of people who kind of aren't necessarily eating disordered, but border on this kind of subclinical level. And then, of course, there's the people with eating disorders, EDNOS, bulimia, anorexia, call whatever you want to call it, who aren't eating sufficiently. And for me, you know, people don't, even people with eating disorders, and the denial is part of it, that they think that because they're a normal weight or they're overweight, that undereating isn't affecting them because their weight stays the same, they're not losing weight, they're not anorexic BMI. And in fact, you know, people with EDNOS and all the rest of it do fit into very different categories in terms of they don't necessarily fit into one, and even people who've diagnosed as anorexic, bulimic or whatever don't fit in just that. And I think that what I want to do these next few weeks is to, yes, look at what anorexia is, but look really broadly at the symptoms, which, yes, of course, some of it is being malnourished, is being, you know, emaciated and all the rest of it. But there's a lot of people who have anorexic behaviours who aren't diagnosed with anorexia because, first of all, because they still get their period, or second of all, because their BMI doesn't fall under 17.5. So today, and I know what Kel's done, is I'm just checking time, guys, is I want to look at the effects of undereating and how undereating can affect you at any weight, and it has a marked impact and effect on your physical health and your physical well-being. So first of all, I'm going to look at the heart. Okay, the heart's a muscle, right? So if you're not eating enough, okay, your body starts to eat its own muscle. Basically, the heart is a muscle, and therefore the muscle wastes, and so the heart wastes. And so you're going to start having problems then with suffering with basically your heart not pumping blood around efficiently. So you're going to have low blood pressure, okay, which is dangerous. You're going to have a low pulse rate, which is dangerous. And I don't care what weight you are, if these are some of the symptoms that you're having, you need to think carefully about it, okay? You're going to have, your circulation isn't going to work, okay, because if your heart's not functioning better, you know, you're going to, even if you're not always cold, but your tips of your fingers here, okay, your nose, your extremities basically, hands and feet, because basically blood isn't pumping around your body, so there's no kind of circulation. Your body is completely slowing down, which is what your heart is doing. Okay, you're going to have an inconsistent body temperature as well. Your body's not going to be able to regulate its body temperature, so sometimes you might feel incredibly hot, other times incredibly cold, and there's no kind of regulation there. And basically, you know, a weakened heart, it just puts you at more risk of having a heart attack. Lines, you know, like on the heart monitor, and it, you know, it's going along like this, and it's going skip breakfast, skip lunch, and then a flat line. It said stop, you know, skip lunch, skip breakfast, skip lunch, stop skipping. Because, you know, I don't care what size, you're not eating, okay, your body's going to have these symptoms, and you might deny that, okay, you might be like, well, I'm a healthy weight, so what does it matter, okay? And I've fallen into that trap, you know, being a healthy weight. I have been a healthy weight for a long time, and I have, of course, had my moments where just because I'm a normal weight, I'm like, well, it's not that much of a big deal. Well, it is, okay? So the other thing I wanted to think about is the sex hormones and infertility, basically. So well, first of all, if you're not getting your period, that is a sign that your body is shutting down. And what it does, your body shuts down all the things it doesn't really need to stay alive. And so your period is one of those things, okay? So losing your period, puberty, if you're a younger viewer watching us, what's going to happen sorry, I'm trying to check the time because I'm just conscious of talking too much. If you're, you know, if this is happening at 11, 12 during puberty, it will stop puberty, and that can often be, you know, a very common problem with people who develop an eating disorder at that point. So your sex drive is going to decrease as well. You're not going to have, you know, those kinds of desires and impulses and wants, because you're kind of just, you know, slowing everything down. And yeah, your loss of period, really, or lack of period, or irregular periods. And just because you get your period, that doesn't mean that everything's okay, and that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that, you know, your period stopping. Mine stopped for 5 years, okay, and I had huge amounts of problems when they came back. I have cysts on my ovaries and such. And what happens even when you get to a healthy weight and are eating regularly is that these things might still not happen, and it's taken a long time for me to have regular periods and stuff. The next one, your bones, okay? Nutritional changes are going to, like, profoundly disturb bone growth and bone density. This is especially true, and more serious actually when it's occurring at puberty, because that's when your density is building, and it is actually, you know, can be irrecoverable, basically. And it's going to leave you wide open to osteoporosis, which, you know, is going to mean problems with your joints and your bones and your, you know, easy fractures and all the rest of it, okay? And this idea with osteoporosis is also going to be linked to, you know, your period stopping. So the next thing, I just took a few notes, guys. Digestion, okay, you're going to find if you're not eating, you're not going to go to the toilet, basically, to put it, you know, quite bluntly. Your whole digestive tract slows down, and it also is going to leave you feeling more bloated because you're not flushing out, and also this idea, this feeling of fullness because you're not going to the toilet. And this is often when people come into, like, problems with laxatives. It starts, you know, as a way of helping you go fully, basically, because you're not shitting, because you're not eating enough. Okay, so what else? Skin and hair. Your hair's going to go thin, it's not going to shine, it's going to probably fall out. Your skin will probably dry because you're probably going to be dehydrated as well, and that's going to lead to dry patches of skin. And also you're going to have this kind of look, this sort of pasty, sallow look, sort of dark circles under your eyes and everything. And some people experience, like, a fine layer of, like, fuzz over their body as well. So yeah, and the sort of other thing I was thinking about is the inability with sleep and resting, and the less you eat, basically, the more kind of hypomanic you become, and therefore you're more likely to exercise. So you're going to be waking up really early, and you know, insomnia is a bitch. It's something which I know a lot of us experience, so you're actually going to find it very difficult to slow yourself down. What I kind of, you know, really want to say as well is that, you know, undereating gives you this kind of high, this kind of manic high, and it actually can make you feel special, or, like, you know, that you know, you're amazing, you're strong, you're fit, you're doing your body good. Well, do you know what? You're not. And actually, that thought and that belief is very much linked to the distortions that an eating disorder can cause as well. So even if you're not eating disorders, you're having some of these effects, it is going to kind of like mess with your head. I think I've got a couple, maybe another minute or so. You know, for me, these were the sort of key things that happened for me, and I can't say how much better now things are, that my body's healthy. So I just kind of wanted to educate you guys who are out there maybe not eating enough and actually thinking that you're okay because you're a normal weight or overweight or whatever. Well, it's crap, okay? And even if you're emaciated and you're saying, oh, this is fine, well, it's not.